the country of Turkey. We are going to explore a few of the highlights of famous Turkish Rabbi Chaim Modai Z'tl, very, very well connected rabbi and very great rabbi of his time. He would go on to have various different positions. First of all, he was born around the year 1720. I believe he passed away in 1794. Not too sure the exact date of his Hilula. He'll become one of the great rabbis of Tzfat, the rabbi of Izmir, which is a very prominent position. Remember, Turkey had the bastion of Torah learning at that point in time. He was a Diyan, a judge, a Posek. He would also be Shluchei d'Rabbanan, a rabbinic emissary, and he would become like a poet, a songwriter. He was born in the area of Istanbul in 1720. He would pass away in the holy city, capital of Israel, Jerusalem. At that point of time, it was part of the Ottoman Empire. I think he was about 74 years of age in 1974. A very, very great rabbi. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the great rabbi's life. And very, very interesting. So he was born in 1720 in Istanbul. And I think he was close, if I'm not mistaken, and a Talmud of the famous Rabbi Chaim Abulafia, Rabbi we've spoken about on various occasions before. We've actually spoken about the rabbinic dynasty of the Abulafia family. Now, I think when he was only 9 years of age, he would make Aliyah to the land of Israel. And he would end up going to Tzfat, I believe, for 25 years, and will end up becoming one of the Chachamim there, one of the greatest rabbis over there, and really, really made his mark. Now, come what the year 1755, at that point in time, he'd be in his mid-30s. He would actually return now at this stage to Istanbul to work as a Diyan, as a judge. So brought a wealth of Torah learning from Israel and took back to Turkey at that point in time. I believe there was a very large earthquake in the year 1760. And I think at that point in time, he would actually travel as a Shluchei d'Rabbanan, a rabbinic emissary, to Europe in order, first of all, to strengthen the communities in Europe and have connections, at the same time to raise funds for various other places, for, at that point in time, I think for Tzfat, for the city itself, obviously. And so he would go there, and I think he would, let's just say, visit areas like even the Czech Republic, the Prague at that point in time. And over there, it's reported over he would meet Rabbi Yechezkel Landau, who was obviously the author of the Torah Colossal Shut, the Sheilot Shuvot book, the Noda B'Yehuda over there. So they would meet each other and they would actually correspond. And I think he'd write and chronicle it over. And I think also the famous Chidah he will meet in his travel to Europe, Rabbi Chaim Yosef David Azulay, arguably one of the most famous rabbis of the last few hundred years, without a doubt. Come what the year 1776, he would be appointed, I think, to the rabbinate of Izmir, very prominent position. And I think that will be a position he would hold for 17 years as a head rabbi over there, very prominent position. I think it's interesting, he would end his life pretty much returning to Eretz Israel in 1793. He would go back to the holy city of Tzfat. And I think he passed away in the winter time period in 1794. I'm not too sure the exact date when he passed away. Now, it's actually said over that Rabbi Modai was considered one of the great rabbis that was able to, of his generation, without a doubt, and would actually write down a lot of his Torah writings, including in a Shut, Chayim le'olam, a Torah and questions and answers book in of itself, Chayim le'olam, which was considered a very, very great book of that, an important resource at that point in time. And many, many of the great rabbis of that generation would do it. He was, I think, an expert when it came to geometrica and various other arithmetics and other secularly knowledges he had in of itself. And he was, I think there will be a writings or commentary he'll make on a Siddur for the prayers itself. Many of it was put in manuscript form, and I think he would actually compose various different songs. Among them were very, very special songs, let's just say, which I think many of the people in Istanbul, especially the Jewish community, really, really took a nice liking to it in of itself. And various other things would relate to over, let's just say, within regards to other importances within regards. Many of the songs would incorporate about the Bet HaMikdash and so on and so forth. There was many of his workings in of itself. Remember, it was he had like a very hands-on role, being obviously the chief rabbi. He would have to, have huge connection. I think he would also, a lot of the poems that he would do were in a special language, in the within regards to biblical connotations for the destruction of the Bet HaMikdash. Now, among his compositions, now he wrote a lot of great Torah colossal works on top of everything else, along with his important activities, including the Gittin, which was a book on Gittin, respectively. I think it was printed in Jerusalem, and it was printed through, Rabbi Yoel Moshe Solomon, the Chayim Le'olam, which we spoke about before, the Shut. It was, I think, divided into various different sections. Chelik Aleph, the first part, was on Orach Chaim and Yoreh Deah, or the Code of Jewish Law. And Chelik Bet, the second part, was dealing with Even Ezer, the book Even Ezer, respectively. I think it was printed in Izmir, I think with the help of Harav Nisim Chaim Moshe Modai. I think there was extra things in Maimar Chaim. Then there was a Tshuvot, which was printed among the great rabbis of the generation. Shut Chaim Shelo Lechid. Sorry, I think the book was called Chaim Sha'al Lechida, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was based mainly on three different Teshuvot, connection to Rabbi Shlomo Kamodano, based on Orach Chaim, various different parts of the Code of Jewish Law. I think also a connection there was within regards to Rav Yosef Nachmoli and other Rabbanim within regards to that. Now he actually composed, I think, a song also interesting. I have another interesting tidbit. He was health conscious also, we have to point out. He did like some sort of poem against something similar to cigarette smoking, if I'm not mistaken. Something about drinking tofu, like speaking about, maybe towards the danger about it or not. I think it was printed in another book of Rabbi Yoshua ben Avisti, I think in Jerusalem in the year 1853, if I'm not mistaken. But he was a very great rabbi of his time. Now, friends, we're a community here. We're learning about the great rabbis of yesteryear. If you happen to descend from any of the great rabbis we're speaking about, please let me know. I would love to hear more. Friends, please subscribe to the channel. We're coming near 7,000 subscribers, which is a phenomenal achievement, friends. If anyone is interested in watching these videos, please share the videos to other people. Also, we're a community here. We love learning about the great rabbis of yesteryear. So wishing you all well, a fantastic day here live from the city of Bet Shemesh. And please watch over all the previous videos we've recorded on the great Chachamim of yesteryear. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a fantastic day.